guys, long time no talk. So much has happened since our last vlog.
When was our last vlog?
I watched it last week. It was the update when we were looking for a house.
Ran it.
We actually looked at several houses. Several.
Put offers in on several houses.
Several. It was miserable. It was heartbreaking, really. We put offers in on 2 separate houses before we found the one that we're in now, obviously. And one of them, the people just decided that they weren't ready to sell, and then the other one, a cash offer beat us to it that morning. So, I mean, it happens, and it's part of it, but it was frustrating. But we moved in the end of October, yeah. So, life has really been a roller coaster ride since then.
Brain fart?
No, I'm watching you eat your snack. The one that I asked you not to eat while we were filming.
I'm sorry. I kinda.
Okay, so, God, they didn't even see Sadie. Like, we stopped vlogging before we got Sadie.
We got 2 more dogs.
Yeah. 2.5. We, where to start? Okay, so I started my big girl job and her big girl job, and it's fun. It's going well. I mean, being a teacher has its days, obviously. Anytime you're working with children is frustrating. So,
Try junior high kids. Immaturity level to the max.
my high school kids are immature.
Yeah. Double
But
that.
I ended up having to teach an extra class that I wasn't planning on teaching. So I'm teaching 3 different classes, and that can be overwhelming on its own. But I think it's going okay as far as I can tell. I plan on staying there next year. And we'll just I don't like to already make up my mind and say, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be here next year, or blah, blah, blah. I like to just kind of give it a chance before I make up my mind.
It's a very good area. Job-wise.
Yeah, like,
We don't have any problems with us.
yeah. And, I mean, like, we don't talk about it with the kids, obviously, but since she's an assistant softball coach.
Softball. Sorry.
Why did you say softball?
I don't know.
Okay. But since she's an assistant coach, obviously I'm around the softball team a little bit more. I think they all know. But I mean,
A lot of her kids at the high school know. Nobody. I don't think any of the kids do
but
know.
that's what I was about to say. My kids at the high school know.
Okay.
Did it spill?
No, it has a lid on it. It's not even my damn dresser. That's another thing we can talk
Language. So. Yeah, obviously, since her softball girls know, some of them are my students, and, word travels fast in a high school. Like, especially with us both being new people, and we're not from the area. So it just, I mean, it's whatever. Like, we haven't had any real issues with it. And as far as, like, administration and coworkers and things like that go, I couldn't ask for any better. Do you have a problem?
No, I'm good.
Well, you're like looking at me like, speak for yourself.
No, I don't have any issues. All my coworkers love me.
Yeah, I mean that we are so much more than gay, like,
To put it simply.
basically. But
Okay, so we started Big Girl Jobs.
yep, and
Moved
then
in.
before No, it was right after we started our Big Girl Jobs. We got Sadie. Actually, we got Sadie the day that we closed on our house. No, not the day we closed. I'm sorry. The day that the offer was accepted. So at like 10 o'clock, we found out that we were getting the house. And at like 12, that was like 11.
Did we really find out someday?
Mm-hmm. Because that was the only reason Mom was okay with it. Yes, we don't live with my parents anymore. That is the most exciting thing that has come out of this whole thing. But that... I accidentally put my thumb on the stupid fingerprint thing. That is little Sadie. Well, yeah, that was taken probably right after we got her. But she's about, what, 6 months now?
Yeah.
Today. 6 months today. And yes, she is our little ADD, hyperactive, crazy child. She's very well behaved. She's just...
And that's another thing. The weather here, I don't know if y'all
stupid energetic.
are from here, but the weather here has been absolutely awful for the past 3 weeks. It's been sleet, snow, rain.
Yeah, we were on backup though.
What?
Like we were like back in August.
Oh, sorry.
We were like fast forwarding, or September.
So I moved in. I got Sadie.
Yeah, got Sadie, moved in, and then. I mean, we have just thoroughly enjoyed our house. Like, we had our Christmas here. We live at a midway point from where our families live and where our school is. Because our school is about, what, like 45 minutes from where our families live?
I like it from here. I was like, hell no.
No.
Yeah.
From where we were at the beginning of the year. And here, we're about 25 minutes. Yeah, so we're a little further from our parents than we are school. But it's nice. It's nice not having to drive over an hour back and forth every day. Trying to think of what else we've done in January, the beginning of January. It's been on our hearts for what, like 2 years almost, to foster dogs. Not children, not yet. So we followed the Tunica Humane Society on Facebook, and we have for 2 years, and just seeing their stories. They're a no-kill shelter. They're not state funded, so they work off like grants and donations and volunteers and things like that. And so this is something we've wanted to do for a really long time, and then all of a sudden, here we are in our own house. And we were here for like 3 months or so by January. And we'd made it through Christmas and all that. And the shelter just started getting this huge influx of puppies. And we were like, oh, really, I was like, I just really want to do this. This is something that we always said when we get our own house, when we get our own house, when we get our own house. Because we couldn't at my parents' house, number one, because it wasn't our house. Like, we already had our own dogs there. And number two, they didn't have a fence. And that's one of the requirements of the shelter is that you have a fence.
So dogs can't get loose and go run.
Right. I mean, it's all for their safety. Like, it's not them being ridiculous. And so, all of these puppies just came in. I mean, they had what?
They got 50-something in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And it wasn't even puppy season. And we got them on what, January 9th? So this is like the cold part of the year. And some of them came from an animal shelter, like Memphis Animal Shelter.
Shelter.
Yeah, they're high kill.
Like 2 days.
And, anyway, so we got 2 puppies, a brother and a sister.
Luke and Lorla.
And we were able to name them since we were the first people who really came in contact with them, other than the lady who picked them up off the street. And, they were Luke and Lorelai, and, we took them to the vet, and that's another thing. The shelter pays for all of their vetting and stuff. Like, basically, we just, when they're here, we treat them like they're one of ours. Like, treats, food, stuff like that, like we do. But, all of the kind of extensive stuff, the, shelter does. So, we, took them there. Everything was good. And they were so precious. They were just... Well, the sister had a family that was really interested in her, and
they had a dog that was older. I think she's 6, and they looked just alike.
Yeah, and so we set up a little meet and greet type thing, and they lived out in Tennessee, and
It's called Germantown, God's World.
I didn't want to say where it was. So we drove out there, and wow. I mean, like, they just had this beautiful house. The mom stayed home all day. Just what you would want for a dog. And,
that came from the streets. Like,
yeah.
Deserves that
And
compassion.
we, so she ended up getting adopted that night, and it was heartbreaking. I mean, that was our first foster that
They
got
say your
adopted.
first is always the worst.
And I will forever believe that. And I was so sad. Like, Rachel cried a lot more than I did. But I was so sad. But at the same time, like, I was so happy for her. Just because, I mean, I was heartbroken. Like, I loved this dog. But just the life that she's given. And we get daily texts from her mom that is just like, oh, this is Sassy, and she sends us pictures, like, I don't want to show, she sends us pictures,
Just click on the picture.
like, she sent us this picture tonight.
Your name's on there. Your name's on there.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. She sent us this picture tonight of her laying on the couch, and it's just nice. Like, she's a very nice woman. She's has a husband and 2 kids that are older. Well, I guess about our age, and I just couldn't have asked for a better place for her to go. She is well taken care of and spoiled and happy, and it's amazing.
So she got adopted.
So we were left with Brother. And I think when you were crying, I mean, you were sad that Sassy was, they renamed her Sassy. That was a little difficult too.
I think we were more sad that Luke was left alone. They
Right.
were very, very attached.
Right. And, I mean, that was his first time to be alone, really. And,
So he slept with us the first night she was gone, because I couldn't bear to leave him out in the
yeah,
kitchen by himself.
It was sad. But, it's around Valentine's Day. I think it's February 10th or so. I'd been hinting at it.
So now we have 4.
That all I wanted for Valentine's Day was to sign Luke's adoption papers. Like, that is all I wanted. And I was all in. I was just waiting for her to give the okay. I mean, because obviously we are a family, and I mean,
and obviously she's not going to bring a dog into the house without talking to her.
Right. And I mean, 4 dogs is not something to take lightly. Like, that's 4 mouths to feed. You know, the responsibility of it. And it wouldn't be on just me. It would be on her, too. So I wasn't just going to go sign the papers without her knowing that. That's just, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
That.
Well, remember that lady that tried to adopt Lorelai that was like, I'll just surprise my husband with her? And that it's just never a good idea, because what if they react badly and you're stuck with a dog that either A, they don't like and don't want, or B, you have to return the dog, and that's good for nobody, especially the dog. So I guess it was like the 10th. It was the week of Valentine's Day. I think it was the Sunday before Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day was that Saturday. And she was like, she picked him up and hugged him and was like, well, do you want to be a Kelly? And I called the shelter director that night and was like, He's ours. Because I mean, we were trying to get him adopted, more so them than us. Because at that point, I did not want him to get adopted. I wanted him. And of course, everybody was like, we knew you were going to keep that dog, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I mean, I fell in love with him. So anyway, right after he got his second round of shots, which was, what, like 2 weeks later? Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. Well, no, not when we adopted him. Because he got a second round of shots the day before Valentine's Day. Friday the 13th. Anyway, so that Saturday on Valentine's Day, softball had a thing, so I was going to that, and when I was getting ready to leave, the Tunica people called me and said, look, we really need you to take another foster. And at this point, like, we knew that we wanted to take some time off of fostering because softball season was coming up. Not only her high school season, which is, I mean, they're going to travel. They're going to be out late several nights. So it's just going to be me. But also our Blue Angel travel ball. And, I mean, that's, what, there's 2 different weekends when we stay in a hotel?
At least 1, maybe 2.
I can't remember. But, yeah, I mean, and not only that, it's a lot of traveling on the weekends and stuff. And I just didn't want to get a dog and not be able to give it the attention and training that it needed. So I was like, give me the dog that you think is going to get adopted. And they knew why, and they understood, and it wasn't because I didn't want to get stuck with a dog. It was just because I didn't want to have a dog that we couldn't give the attention to. Not to mention we just got Lukey, so we got Otis, and he is available for adoption if you're interested. He is a sweetheart. He really is. But he's
Very
also
playful.
another 6-month-old puppy. Luke is 4 months old. 3 months old.
No, he's not 3 months old.
I thought they got their last round of shots at 4.
Yeah,
So-
there's no way.
Luke's around 4 months old. And Otis is about 6 months old. And he is double Luke's size. Like, literally.
His paws are the size of my palm.
Yeah. He's a lab mix, but he looks just like a lab. And obviously with shelter dogs, you don't know their parents, where they came from, their bloodline. But, he just looks so much like a black lab. And, so, I mean, it's not that we don't love him and we don't care for him, because we do. We take care of him. But, it's just difficult, and it's a lot of work. And, so we have an adoption event Saturday that we're going to go to,
Maybe
me
you're
and
gonna
him,
get to.
because she has a tournament. And, just paws crossed that he gets adopted. I would be happy for him, and he needs a family of his own. Not to mention,
Him and Lucy don't get along. They sit there and bark, like, as you can tell through this whole video.
yeah, they just bark
They
at
sit
each
there and
other.
bark at each other all the time. And, as I was saying earlier, we've had, like, 3 weeks of just nonstop rain, sleet, and ice. And
Like, we're
snow.
probably not going to school tomorrow.
Like, it's been awful. Like, we were out for a whole week of school.
Yes.
We got canceled a whole week. So, it's
5
been awful.
days.
And Lucy has got to have, like, outside time. And she hasn't been able to because it's been so nasty. So, as you can tell, they've been in there barking at each other the whole time. We have, like,
Yeah.
gates up.
Yeah, we have baby gates
Where they
that
can't
keep
get
them
to
in
each
the
other.
kitchen.
Because she doesn't
The
really
puppies.
like Odie that much. I
Yeah,
think it's
she
'cause-
likes Luke, though, but
I
she
think it's
doesn't like
because
Odie.
Odie, like, she's kind of accepted Luke, and I think it's because Odie, like, him and
Looks
Luke will
identical
play.
to her.
Him and Luke will play, and then Odie might be a little mean to Luke, and then Lucy gets really mad that he's being mean to Luke.
Yeah, a little, like, protective.
Yeah.
But just hopefully he gets adopted, because I just want to be able to spend some time with Luke, like, training him and just loving on him, because, I mean, we love on them both now, but it's hard to love on one dog when you have another dog, like, jumping at you.
It's hard to
So-
train one dog when you have 2 dogs jumping at you.
Right. So hopefully he gets adopted.
What else?
We got all kinds of credit cards now. we
Don't
bought
count.
this bedroom, this bed, because we needed new mattresses when we moved here anyway. And our old mattresses just went in the guest bedroom. And so we bought this bed frame with it. It wasn't expensive. Just something that was nicer than what we had because my bed was broken, and so it was in the guest bedroom. But can you plug your charger up, please? I forgot about that. But so yeah, we did that. And got a refrigerator from H.H. Gregg and
And TV.
yeah, and a TV for the living room. But just
Why
overall,
don't we do a separate segment on that? On all the stuff we bought.
okay.
Like eventually.
Other than that, though, I don't really know what we have to update on them. What else do we have to update on?
We'll do a separate segment on all the stuff we bought for the house. And give,
I'd
a
like to
tour
do
of the
like
house.
just like a budget type video.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like obviously we're not gonna
the plastic thing's still on there.
obviously we're not gonna tell them like exactly how much we make and all of that, but we can use like rounded numbers. Just because that's a huge part of our life now that we didn't have at that point. Like we didn't have bills to pay. Now we do. And I mean, that's kind of like a kind of crappy part of growing up, but at the same time, it is part of growing up, and it's nice to have your own things and just know that you're
You bought
not,
it.
yeah, you're not dependent on somebody else. Because that was our biggest thing, especially because we were married, and it was just kind of like weird, like we were grown and had, you know, these adult lives, but we were still dependent on our parents. So that was kind of a difficult part in our lives.
But I'm still in school.
Yeah, she takes online classes and works very hard on them.
I should be done in December. So I'll have a big old job in August.
And hopefully she'll just stay on at the same school she's at and just get hired as a full-time
Yeah.
teacher,
So
which would be a huge pay increase, let me just say. Language.
Huh.
Language. I think that's about it for now. But yeah, really, we honestly stopped vlogging because I am a teacher, and that makes me nervous. And, you know, putting our lives out there, like, in this day and age, kids just Google you. So that it is something that I'm a little nervous about. Did you not think of that?
I don't care. It's just not something I think about.
I did it, and honestly, that's the whole reason. I mean, like obviously we got caught up in the move and stuff like that, but it makes
They
me
got
nervous.
that much time to Google me. Go right on ahead.
Oh, they do. They've told me that they have Googled me and that they found my Facebook, but all they could see was my profile picture. Yeah, my kids are creeps. But I guess that's all for now, and we'll work on. I'd like to do monthly. I don't know if we can commit to weekly.
Probably once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we could do that. At least once a month.